some career
Guys and girls need to remember the fact that Frankie is with me. She keeps getting a lot of message requests and friends requests she's not going to accept, especially tramps like yous. And if you want to keep your kneecaps, I suggest you stop sending her. She's with the #1 psycho.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that share button. Also, drop a comment of your thoughts in my comment box and let me know how you feel about the story. The story right here is coming out of England. It's about a 16-month-old baby who was killed at the hands of her mother's partner while her mother sit back and allowed this to happen to her. It's a shame that she didn't protect her child. But this goes to show you all that we have demons truly walking among us. And they can also bring the demons out in you. So you have to be careful who you allow in your house, who you allow in your presence around. You have to be really careful about that. So let's get right into it. Star Hobson was in many ways a typical toddler. Born in May of 2019 into a big family, she was adored and showered with love and affection. I couldn't wait to get home from work to see her. I'd be dashing home, thinking little Star will be there when we get back, says her great granddaddy, David Fawcett. He remember happy times with the toddler, watching her playful personality emerge at his home in West Yorkshire. Every time she heard music, that would be it. Her little head would be going, and she started dancing right in front of the telly, he said. Star's earlier, happier life was filled with love. Pictures posted on social media shows a cheeky, smiling little girl with piercing blue eyes and short brown hair. In one of the photo snaps, she was surrounded by gift bags, wearing a pink dress and an embroidery plastic tiara. To those who love her, Star was their princess. If you could bottle that time, I love to replay it over and over again because it was absolutely brilliant. But the happy baby who melted the hearts of all who met her would endure a dark existence. Gradually isolated and sheared from her loving, gazing, and devoted family members, she would slowly succumb to mistreatment at the hands of two people who should have cared for her the most: her mother, Frankie Smith, and her partner, Savannah Brockhill. On the day of Star's death in September of 2020, she was found lifeless and impaled at the pair's flat in Kingsley, West Yorkshire, and pronounced dead in the hospital. A postpartum examination would find evidence of catastrophic, unsurvivable injuries that likely caused by punching, kicking, or stomping. This act of violence was not the first time. Further investigation will reveal a string of other significant injuries to her tiny body. Relatives say they raised the alarm. 5 referrals were made to social services, but it was not enough to save the little girl from her mother and her controlling partner. Star was 6 months old when Frankie Smith broke up with the child's father, Jordan Hobson, in November 2019. A month later, she met Savannah Brockhill at a pub where the older woman worked on the door security. The two began an on and off voluntary relationship with argument and instance of domestic violence. David Fawcett, Frankie Smith's grandfather, says her family knows a change in her afterwards, a change in her attitude towards Star after she met Brockhill. It wasn't long before the controlling bouncer and security guard got into Frankie's head and left the young mother fearful of her partner. This appeared to have an effect on the little baby Star as well. Star babysitter thought she had changed and not for the better. In January of 2020, she would be the first person to contact Brockhill Social Services. By February of 2020, the relationship and caring duties that had taken a toll on Smith, and she asked her grandmother, Anita Smith, to help with the toddler. David said he and Anita, his partner of 27 years, picked up Star and thought she looked thin, sad, and depressed. I never seen a depressed baby before. She was looking at the floor, and Anita would say, "Oh, look at poor Star. She's never going to be the same again," he said. But David said staying with her grandparents brought an instant change into little Star. Within 2 to 3 days, she perked up and she was brilliant. Star would stay with David and Anita for 11 weeks until April of 2020. David says that was when everything changed. Frankie called and said, "We're going to keep her here now," he said. And then Savannah more or less said, "She's our child and we're going to bring her up our way." And that's how things really started off. Soon afterwards, in May of 2020, Anita Smith will become the second person to contact Brockhill Social Services after learning Star had been slammed and choked by Brockhill. David says, "We never heard of it. Who slams and chokes a 10-month-old baby? What's going on?" We were told Savannah picked up Star and she grabbed her by her neck and threw her on the bed. He said Anita called social services and warned Brockhill Council they would have another baby P on their hands if they did not intervene in Star's case. But he said the complaint was closed after he had been dismissed as malice and based on their dislike of Brockhill. It was at this point that the couple began to isolate themselves from the family members. According to David, Brockhill helped to move Frankie Smith and Star to Kingsley, several miles away from her grandparents' house in West New Yorkshire. Away from watchful eyes, Star would endure physical and psychological torment. Oh, that baby was beautiful. At the women's trial, Brockhill Crown Court would hear that Brockhill favored a tough parenting style, one which Smith would try to enforce with shouting and other punishments. Brockhill admit to striking the toddler. In a text, she describes Star as a brat. "She thinks nothing of you," she added. Relatives who would rarely occasionally see Star will begin to notice marks and bruises on her body. During the couple's trial, it was heard that as of early June 2020, Brockhill was making internet searches for how to take away bruising quickly. In the same month, Star's father, Jordan Hobbs, would make a third referral to authorities after seeing photos of Star with a bruising cheek. Police visit Frankie Smith and Star was examined by doctors. This would be the only time she would be taken to for medical treatment. On this occasion, as the others, the couple explained away the injuries, blaming them on the clumsy toddler. Star was hitting her head on the coffee table, walking into the sofa, falling and tripping. It was enough for the case to be closed. Social media posts over the summer will prove a further clue that all was not well in Star's world. A series of disturbing and bizarre video recordings of the defendant's mobile phone would depict Star as an object of amusement, described by the prosecutors. In one, Star is seen falling off a plastic chair and hitting the floor. In another, she slumped forward into a bowl of food. Some of these clips were posted online with lighthearted captions, music, visual effects. In her evidence, Brockhill likened them to videos seen on TV show You've Been Framed. As they became further cut off from their beloved great-granddaughter, David Foster and Anita had become increasingly concerned that something terrible would happen to her. Anita used to say, poor little star, you do realize you're going to end up a little star in the sky, don't you? Sad. Yeah, it's super sad. Mm-mm-mm. Two more referrals were made by others over the summer. One by a family friend and a final alert from Smith's grandfather, Frank, weeks before Star's death. By September, the abuse had continued and increased. Brockhill, working overnight as a security guard, drove with Star to a recycling plant in Dorchester. On CCTV footage recorded over the course of 3 hours outside of the site, Brockhill is seen to deliver a total of 21 blows to the toddler. At one point, the little girl falls out the car. The video recorded the next morning on the 14th of September upon their return to the couple's flat shows a large mark on Star's cheek. According to evidence heard in court, this episodes prompt a dispute between the couple, with Smith texting Brockhill, "Stay away from us," but it did not last long. Just over a week later, Star was playing with two other children at the couple's flat when she was violently assaulted. Internet search on shock in babies and how to bring a baby out of shock were made 15 minutes before anyone called 999. Further injuries to Star abdomen left laceration into her internal organs, deemed to be the result of several forceful blows. In court, prosecutors there never was any real chance of saving her life once those injuries had been inflicted. Hospital staff said Star was dead on arrival by the time she was brought to Allendale General Hospital, a few miles from Kingsley. They were struck by Brockhill and Smith's odd behavior. Brockhill aggression, Smith reluctant to hold her daughter, so they flagged their concern to the safety guarding team. The woman would be arrested and charged with Star's death. Investigation would reveal that the child had multiple injuries, and the strange social media videos and dozens of texts illustrating a dysfunctional relationship with the little girl that had become caught in the middle of. By the time the couple's lies were exposed, it was too late for Star. It was only after her death that the extent of the physical abuse became apparent. Only after her death did Brockhill text message filled of disdain for the nasty Nazi child come to light. Only after her death did it emerge that her two caretakers delayed 15 minutes before calling 999 as she lay on the floor, experienced a catastrophe. David Fawcett says Star family feels let down by social services. He believed her death could have been prevented if action had been taken place sooner. As they await the publication of the safeguarding review into the actions of different agencies, Mr. Foster said the family wants to find ways to make sure other families don't have to go through the same thing they have. That's really sad. And the reason why I brought you this story is because a couple of days ago, this evil woman was just brought into the news because she's walking around the jail smiling like she right after killing this baby. It says the woman who tortured and murdered toddler Star Hobson walks around prison grinning with up to 5 guards protecting her against attackers. Like, why she need 5 guards? She didn't try to protect the baby. She want to inflict those injuries on the baby. Why protect her? Let them get her. Let them get her. The mama too. Savannah Brockhill, an amateur boxer and a security guard, is said to be surrounded by guards in jail, preventing her from being assaulted. That's crazy. Then she was an amateur boxer. You know what I'm saying? Imagine what she did to that baby. You know what I'm saying? And why they protected her. But that she fresh in there now. Don't worry, she fresh in there. We've all seen it on the news. But then to have the actual person be actually thrown into jail, everyone was at the window. Everyone was screaming and shouting. But luckily enough, we were all locked in at a certain time. Certain time she came in, so no one can get to her. The prisoner added, "You don't go and do that and go walk around the prison with a big smile on your face thinking no one's going to get you." I don't know how she can live with herself knowing what she did. That she still walk around with a big smile on her face. In December, Brockhill stood trial alongside her ex-partner, Star's mother, Frankie Smith, who was 20, was convicted for allowing her daughter's Star's death. She was jailed for 8 years. They gave her 8 years, y'all. 8 years. She should have got more than that. It says she's 20. She still had time enough to go out and have more kids to abuse. That's crazy. That is so crazy. Evil Brockhill was jailed for life in order to serve a minimum of 25 years. She laughed in the courtroom when she was given the sentence. The judge at the 7-week trial at Bradford Crown Court before Christmas had observed Star and was caught in the crossfire of a narcissist on and off relationship between the couples who were supposed to protect her and care for her. Wow, that's extremely sad. Star died after Brockhill kicked or punched her in the stomach with all the force of a crashing car in Kingley, West Yorkshire in September of 2020, according to medical reports. That is really sad, that baby had to go through that. That beautiful little girl had to go through that. We are in a spiritual warfare where we're walking around with demons. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad that the mother just sat there and allowed that to happen to her daughter. We have to protect our kids from these people, from these demons. Domestic violence is really a spiritual thing, more so than anything. It's something that we have to really look deeper into. Why would you sit there and allow your child to go through that? I know she had to see it. I mean, it says at one point when she decided to leave, but she came back. And that's how domestic violence is. You leave, you come back. You leave, you come back. And it's just sad. Now poor little Star life has been taken away because of this narcissistic bitch. I hope she get what she deserve in jail. Because they ain't going to be able to protect her for so long. They're not. And I just want to bring this story to you guys. It's another one about domestic violence. A life was lost. I pray for the family. I hope they're at peace. They did all they could. They tried their best. I mean, they actually tried. I feel like the father needs to sue social services because all the warning signs was there, and they used that LGBT thing to deter them. Sometimes you gotta be smarter than that, and that's what they did. Rest in peace, Star. You was just too good for this world, and that lady was clearly jealous of you. And then your mom, I just don't know. I just don't know. It's really sad. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and drop some comments in my comment box. It doesn't matter what you say. Just drop some comments. Tell me what you think about this video. Protect yourselves. Be aware of your surroundings. Watch the people you connect with. If a person show you who they are, believe them. Exactly who they are. We really going through some things right now. So be careful. Always be aware of who you dealing with. Because everything ain't always what it seems. Thanks for listening.